All right, hello, hi, welcome to the virtual round table with the cast and crew of Saving Chintu, and it's 2020, and hence we cannot have this round table at a physical place because of social distancing. But thanks to Zoom, thanks to technology, we are here. And Saving Chintu, it's a very interesting short film that has been. Tushar, update me on the number three Oscar qualifying film festivals because every time I talk to Tushar,
Yes.
the number keeps increasing. So what is the latest one? You tell me that.
Yeah.
So it's playing in St. Louis International Film Festival in
That's
St.
one.
Yes,
Okay.
and Rode Flickers International Island Film Festival,
Okay.
Out on Film Atlanta Film Festival, and there is one which is BAFTA qualifying Iris Film Festival.
क्या बात है. Lovely. So, first of all, Tushar, I know you must be knowing this because obviously it's at the top of your head. But the remaining people, Edward, Priyanka, Depanita, and Adil, I'd like to know from you guys. Has it now become a habit to hear from Tushar that we've gone to so and so Oscar film qualifying film festival? Has it become a habit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Depanita,
I think it has. I think it has because every few weeks I get this happy call and I post on my social media, oh, thank you for this happy news, and then I'm calling Tushar excitedly like yesterday after we saw a little article and he announced on social media. I was like, okay, I'm literally screaming right now. I actually let out a scream because eventually, after being qualified for so many of these festivals, we are eventually actually running,
wow.
launching our campaign in the running for the Oscars. So yeah, it was quite a moment. And then I called him very excited. This happens, I think, every time he gives me good news, like this.
Yeah.
So I'll give, so I call Tushar excited. Oh my God, did this really happen? So yeah, it's like a moment every time. Yeah. Thankful
Okay.
for that. Thankful.
What about you guys, Priyanka, Edward, Adil? आप लोग कुछ कहना चाहेंगे? Anything you guys like to add?
Every few weeks I get up in the morning and I see on my phone that there is, Tushar tagged you in something, and then this has been a constant every week, and I get up and I see, oh, so we are selected for this festival. Oh, so now we are selected for this. So yeah, it's and then we share it because we feel very happy about it. Even this week Tushar very sweetly shared a little scene of Adilda and my scene, which is the dining table scene very nicely, and I'm nervously just in the end of it asking Adilda, "आपको कुछ और बोलना है ऐसा?" आप कुछ
That's nice. I mean, talking of that dinner scene, I'll come to it. Every time I have seen that scene, I have felt hungry. So I'll come to how did you guys manage that? Edward, anything that you'd like
I
to add?
lost track of all the festivals a long time ago, actually. Now I'm just happy I have something to share on social media besides American campaign, presidential campaign updates. I really need those updates from Tushar that I can share. It's pretty much saved me through this whole ordeal. And yeah, I love it. I just love having the positivity of sharing the good news about this film, which is so positive itself. It's just, it's just what I needed this year. And because, I stopped shooting, I stopped working like everybody else in the lockdown. So there hasn't been really any other work of mine to really show, but Saving Chintu is just the gift that keeps on giving, man. It just keeps on, giving me something to brag about. I love it.
That's nice. And Adil, अब मैं आपसे पूछूंगा, we ऐसे कहते हैं ना, we save the best for the last. So incidentally, this has so happened that for this at least, we're coming to you now. Incidentally, you're the protagonist in the film. Okay, that to we all of us. Actually, I should not say protagonist because
I'm not.
everybody. Actually, no, that's why I'll rephrase it. Everybody is the protagonist when I see it from the film point of view. But why I also say that in a way, I will still call you the protagonist is because you're also the producer of the film, right? So as the producer and as the actor, if I ask you, so who's the happier one right now? Like, when you decided to back the film, the producer is more happy or the actor is like,
I'm just Naam ka waste producer. Just, yes, because I have not really done anything in terms of action wise and execution wise any producing.
Okay.
Uh, but I'm grateful that I had been named as a producer, which is great.
Mhm.
And I am extremely happy to be part of this film. In the middle of my shoot, I was shooting in Glasgow, and suddenly I get a message like all of you have shared on Facebook or Twitter or on Instagram that the film is selected in a Oscar qualifying film. I'm like, oh, that's fantastic, In the middle of after all this lockdown happened, and people are recovering from this solitude and kind of like no work, and it is something as Edward was saying that in the middle of all that you receive this wonderful news and you feel so happy that you have participated in that in whatever possible way. And as you have put it, bragging, I know it's like too much
Hmm. Hmm.
weightage had been given to me because it is conceived by Tushar and the writers, and equally we are all
Right.
part of it. But I think the credit I would always, and that's what I really believe in, is not because of anything else. I think the credit goes to Tushar, all of it in a way. I mean, he would humbly say, no, 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 all of you. But it is about the conception,
Mhm.
about the vision, about the writing, about who he would cast. And all those people had been brought together, and each and every minute which is in the film, he took the
Hmm.
call. He took each and every
Right.
fraction of seconds call, the color, the light, the
Hmm.
acting, the costume, everything. So it is all him, all him.
So, I've seen the film, and as an Indian, I can say not just because Tushar is my friend or I know him, but I've seen, I think, about two or three cuts of the film, and the final one I have seen. And one thing is, it makes me really happy that something like this is being made in India, is being attempted, although it's a short film, but, to deal with the subject that it deals with so sensitively. And there is not even a single moment that's dull, and in about 20 minutes you connect with all the characters. So obviously this is the finished product that I have seen and then the world is seeing. But what about you guys? When the script came to you, what was that one thing that you thought, or that kind of appealed to you, that you said that let me do this film? What was it?
I was just happy I wasn't going to play a British colonial oppressor this time. I play a nice guy. I mean, that's like such a precious opportunity for me because my bread and butter in India, where I've been acting for the last 12 years, is tends to be these period films and series. So it's it's just so great to just be able to act normal, be a nice guy, not oppress anybody. Um, so that was I'm serious. That really always is a big selling point for me. But besides that, the script was obviously so full of heart that I just found it irresistible. I didn't need much convincing.
Right. I think you were playing the normal guy, that kind of, I think I know where you're coming from. What about you guys? Allah, आप बताएंगे? What was it about the script that you were like, let me do this?
Yeah, the first thing which struck me was that it's about saving.
Mm.
It's about saving, but most importantly in that equation, who is saving is also something that we don't talk about in our society at all.
Hmm.
A gay couple trying to adopt a
Hmm.
child, which
Hmm.
is, we don't think that's a problem. We don't, it's not in our radar at all.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
as a society, we would not make ourselves concerned with that
Hmm.
aspect at
Hmm.
all.
Hmm.
Like, huh, oh, what is that problem all about? Who cares? That,
Hmm.
if anybody hears it, that would be the reaction. Those who are not gay, you know,
Hmm.
and gays and LGBT community are minority in any country for that matter, in
Hmm.
the entire on the entire planet,
Hmm.
and especially gay, and they want to be parents, and they want to experience that parent through a child who needs a house. And what could be more noble and more beautiful than that? There could be some other couple who wants to, like we call that straight couple,
Mhm.
uh, who would want to experience that, who doesn't have a child. But the the experience of a gay couple who would like to save and also at the same time, give the child a world where the child would thrive and live up to their expectation and contribute to the society. And I love the fact that the film starts with that. This guy who's me, who is trying to go and work in the slum, and how wonderfully that this child shapes up and again saving people. So this is, I think, it's a beautiful story, and that's what first of all caught me, that it is such a wonderful story, and is written beautifully. I didn't know Tushar at all. He
Mhm.
approached me through someone I forgot. Um, he would be able to tell me, and I said, yeah.
I texted you on Instagram. I remember that.
But there you go. Yeah. I keep my Instagram open, message, and Twitter and Facebook, so that I get to meet these amazing people who are thinking in out of the box and
Mm.
also thinking about stories which are not told and which most people don't tell. Our industry doesn't tell in India.
Right.
They can actually influence so many people
Mm.
if they take up such stories, because then these sensitive issues, these unheard of issues, will become common knowledge for Indian mass, Indian citizens. So I'm grateful to be part of this film.
Superb. And like you said, he said that Instagram he approached you. So obviously, he's a relatively new director. He's just done short films before that. So did you actually want to see his work and see ke aata bhi hai, like they say, ki does he even know anything, or he's
I
just got
have
a
no idea. I don't know. He will be able to tell you. Did I?
No,
I
no,
I I,
no. I
no,
remember.
I forgot.
I remember. I think I did ask you, but I
Hmm.
think remember you said that I'd like to read the script, and yeah, that was it. And we have spoken about it on one of the Zoom interviews, that when I sent him the script, he was shooting in Atlanta, and I didn't hear back like for 3 weeks. So at the same, not 3 weeks, other 2 weeks. And at the same time, I thought,
Hmm.
okay, he might not be interested. And mostly, I send up a follow-up email. So I sent a follow-up email, and he replied that he's been busy filming. He'll read the script like
Mhm.
tomorrow. So he read the script, and then he sent me an email which I didn't open for like 2 to 3 hours. I remember I was like so nervous. I was like, I because while I was writing about Dr. Sanjay, I was all the time I was imagining his face, and I mean the character. I somehow imagined him when I started writing the script, and so that was very
Hmm.
crucial moment. I was like, if he says no, I don't know what to do either. I'll shelve the film for a couple of years, and I don't know what to do. And I remember my mom came in and she was like, instead of not opening it, you can open it and get it over with. So I read the email, and he was like, he said, I love the script, I'll do it. And I think I literally shouted on the top of my lungs. So yeah, I mean, it's and I remember
So
that
you basically
one thing that he said,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I remember vividly, rather, one thing that he said, because we were discussing about other roles and other characters, like who should we get and stuff like that. And one
Hmm.
thing that he said, and I use very randomly, that
Hmm.
I think he said that each project has its destiny, and it put together the very right people that is required by that project. And that is something that I so often use, that it totally makes sense.
Ah, nice. So, Dipanita, he had your moment quite early on with, Adilda's reply. आप दोनों मुझे बताइए प्रियंका and Dipanita, especially, did he approach you guys also through social media, Instagram, or this is like more formal, sending out scripts or whatever, getting in touch with? How did it happen? Please.
Messenger, Facebook Messenger. And I liked the idea that he was proposing. Then we spoke on the phone. Then he sent me this script after that. When he sent that to me, and when I read it, I think my first reaction was I don't know how, but I want to be part of this project, because for me it was a project of kindness and passion and all of the good things that I feel somewhere honestly the world needs. And it's a
Yeah.
story that needs to be told. And I loved my character. Of
Right.
course I loved my character. I still love it, because I keep telling him that thank you for casting me in the role of Meera, because it will forever remain special for me. Because her presence in the film comes from a place of kindness and complete selflessness, and
Right.
yeah, because she probably really gets nothing out of this, but she's a very giving character, and I think that's what attracted me to it.
Okay. And Priyanka, आप भी बोल दीजिए. Has it been Facebook,
Like,
Instagram? Because then we'll have to thank Mark
I
Zuckerberg also, and
no, no,
Tushar
no.
will have to thank him also. Yeah, please go ahead.
We had a real person between. So I actually जैसे तुषार की फिल्म होने से थोड़े टाइम पहले मैंने एक शॉर्ट फिल्म डायरेक्ट की थी. उसमें मोनाली was working with me. She was heading the production team. So Monali worked with me on Anarkali, and Monali know that I'm also an actress. I'm a director as well. So then Monali, few days later, and then few months later, I think no, like 15 days later, I got a call from Monali about this project. There is a role, and I want you. I just, I showed your pictures to Tushar. I think that's how it happened, Tushar.
Yeah.
And Tushar liked your pictures, and would you like to do the film and all? I said, yeah, send me the script. You know how actors like send me the script, we read or whatever. So she said, yeah, I'll send you the script. But also one thing, Adil Hussain is in it. And I'm like, okay, Adil is there. Okay. Monali, I'm doing it. So जैसे कि आदिल दा बता रहे हैं कि हर फिल्म में का अपना ही तकदीर होती है, उसकी अपनी एक नियति होती है, actors choose करने की. तो by chance ऐसा हुआ कि when I post my film, I was very tired and I wanted to meet my mommy. My mommy is in Delhi, so I thought, chalo, I just want to, just take off and meet mommy and not do anything. So I was coming to Delhi. So I called Tushar and I said कि मैं तो दिल्ली ही आ रही हूँ. तो Tushar said, तो एक काम करते हैं, आप आ जाओ, मैं मिलके आपको स्क्रिप्ट सुना देता हूँ. Then me and Tushar met by chance, मैं ऐसे दिल्ली आती नहीं हूँ, but we met and then we totally jammed. In the first session only, in the first meeting, we totally jammed. And then from then it was like, yes, I'm doing this.
Also, the thing is, I before this, all my film I've made back in LA and Atlanta, and there I had this kind of a agent, and my agent reaches out to people, and here I actually and here I hired this casting director, and casting director is giving me options from I knew, I was like, okay, Adil guys, I'm approaching myself. Rest, how about you get me the options? And now this guy is, giving me options from some TV shows that are I don't even see in the picture. So I told him, okay, you just find extras. I'll take care of the crew. And my producer, she laughs. She's like, actually, you have credit of directing, producing, and casting. So that's how I was like, I'll just approach everyone on social media. It worked out, honestly.
Yeah, I'm saying I also now I think you should on hindsight also thank Mark Zuckerberg, no? Because Facebook, no, that would have been really difficult. But Tushar, coming to you, talking of the film. So like I said, very sensitive film, जैसे आदिल दा ने भी कहा कि quite a subject to deal with, and the way it has been dealt with. How did you guys come up with this idea that you want to make this short film? Take us through the journey.
So what actually happened? It's completely out of the blue. So back in LA, I was struggling with severe anxiety for 10 years without knowing that I'm suffering with severe anxiety, and I had an issue that my anxiety manifested in my back, and for 8-9 years I was having the severe back issues. So I actually went to Cedar Sinai and in LA, and I saw this doctor who's a world-renowned doctor. He's a spine surgeon. So I actually wanted to get a surgery done where, they fix bones in your spine, and it's just, so I was begging him to do it because here I was for 8 years, I was in pain and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, no, you don't require that. Because all the tests were done, nothing came up. And so he was like, okay, meet me over the dinner. And he's very down to earth Indian guy. He said, meet me over the dinner. I'm inviting my wife and I'll explain you over the dinner why you don't need surgery. And over the dinner, he also invited one of his therapist friend. And apart from, we figured out I'm dealing with severe anxiety. But after we all jazzed, so his wife was like, she started. So she asked me, "Can I see a couple of your trailers?" Or she saw a couple of my trailers, and she was like, "I really like it." I was like, "Thank you." And then she started talking to her husband. She's like, "Why don't you tell him he's a filmmaker? Maybe he can do something out of his story." And that caught my attention, and I was like, what story? He told me the story. I just stumbled on the story, and I, from next day, I was calling him. I took a couple of appointments, and I would go to appointments. Like over the call, he said no, so I took proper appointments. Like, I need to see him. And here I am in his clinic, begging him, "Can I please make this film?" So somehow we ended up signing a 30-page NDA, because he's like, "Tushar, I totally agree that a story is good, but he does realizes he, back in the days, his parents did something illegal, and but he realizes that, and he's like, I don't want to put my parents through anything in the current time."
Right.
So we signed very 30-page NDA, and after that, Rohan, what happened that I read the draft. I read where a straight couple adopts kid from India who's suffering from TB and malnutrition, and at the same time I had seen Lion, and I was like, this is done. And I'd already seen a couple of more films, like, which actually went to Oscars as well. Short film called Raju. A Scotland director made it in India. It was same story, and I was like, I want to do something different. And quickly wrapping it up. So in 2018, I came to India to I was like, I've been in America for like so long. I just want to go back home. I want to spend some time in ashram. I went there. I spent some time as an ashram, and I met this guy called Jeremy, who is from New York, and he's been living in India since 2003. And we were just talking, like, we were sitting in a park and group, and I asked him, "What do you do?" And he's like, "I run a shelter." And we started talking, and then I came to know that this guy, he actually got diagnosed with HIV back in 2003, and he came to India to do this eat, pray, and love kind of a spiritual journey, and he ended up in Nagpur. And he came across these kids who are HIV positive kids, and he told me like 5 kids were like, their parents died of AIDS. And he's like, I just couldn't go back. I sold my property back in New York, and I bought a building, and since then he's running a shelter. And then I was like, how about I merge these two stories, where the storyline is original of the doctor, but you make gay parents and you give child an HIV, and these two issues. And also I had been doing a lot of research from past 5 years, like what kind of films these film festivals are promoting. I was like, this could be right material to take this film somewhere in festival, and somehow the formula kind of worked. So I'm very glad about that as well. Yeah.
That's interesting. I'd like to ask all of you guys, did you guys know the story, the entire idea behind it?
I didn't know at all.
I don't think anybody knew.
So I'm glad at least there's some revelation happening over here. What about you, Priyanka? Aapko pata tha? Did you have an idea?
That it's based on a real story of
It's
this.
based on a real story, then merged with someone else's story, the entire...
No, Tushar told me a little bit when, as I told you in that restaurant meeting, little bit, but I just didn't know that entire thing, that, the doctor was spectacle about it in the initial, that, his parents, because he did something illegal. I didn't know all this. I just got to know from Tushar. I just heard it.
Right. And Edward, did you even care? Or you're like, happy, I'm just playing the nice, normal guy for a change. I'm not being the bad, whatever, American, British guy.
Yeah, no, I forgot what the whole movie's about, actually. No, I do remember him telling me something to that effect, but not until recently, just reading his interviews and stuff, have I been getting more of the picture, or, maybe I just forgot. I don't have a good memory. But I remember something about that in the beginning, and now getting the whole story, just now listening to Tushar narrate that was a real treat. Just makes me even happier to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I didn't even have permission to even say it's based on real story, because that's why you don't see a card in the film. Otherwise, I would have
Correct.
put it.
Based on a real story, right?
Yeah, recently the doctor himself, he's getting a lot of update and he's so excited. He's like, okay, you have this liberty to use. It's based on real story. I'm very happy that at least I can let people know that this what happened is based on real story. So I'm more than happy.
क्या बात है. So you know, like you guys rightly said, जैसे आदिल दा ने कहा कि every film has its destiny, every project has its destiny, and rightly so we are here today. The film is going to, you know, Oscar qualifying film festivals. And Tushar, I'm sorry, I don't remember the names because they're very complicated. But let me ask you guys this: when you guys read the script, or when you guys were shooting, or even when you guys kind of saw the first draft or the second draft, did you guys actually think that the film had the potential to kind of be on the journey that it is now set out to go? Did you guys actually think that?
Okay, I think for me, I knew it was a special film when I think I read it. And I also remember Tushar telling me something that, you know, Adil has said, whoever will be part of this film will really, you know, I mean, it will be quite a journey for them. And they will, you know, it'll be remembered. And I think I resonate with that, and I knew why. But yes, I will be honest that the fact that it has reached where it has reached, I think it is blowing my mind a little bit. And although I always knew the potential, I think it's still, every time it's a surprise and such a pleasant one. And like I said, you know, it's always a place of gratefulness and thankfulness. And yeah, I keep telling Tushar that, you know, thank you so much for, and I think Tushar comes from that place of, you know, telling the story the way he believes in it. And I think that is why we have embarked on this journey. I truly believe, and it is, I agree with Adinda on this, that, you know, it is all Tushar and, you know, from the place he comes from.
It's everyone. It's every single one of us.
Thank you.
What about the others? Adilda, did you think?
No, I did not think about it at all. When I saw the film, I liked it. Like, oh, so this has come out the way that I thought it would come out, and how it would impact juries and audience members. I have no clue, and I never think of it. Like when I did Mukti Bhavan, and I forgot about it, and suddenly I see it's in Venice, and we got a 10-minute standing ovation sitting there. I'm like, oh, people really got, you know, they were touched and moved. I laughed like hell in that while I was watching the film for the first time. But I didn't know that people would be touched so much, because it's so difficult for me. For a lot of people, they know how it works. I don't know really. I'm mostly busy with like, oh God, I messed it up. Oh, I should have done less. I should have done less. And I start watching a film like this, and then I'm like, oh God.
That's a revelation for me also, because.
And then no, it's always like that. And then suddenly my hands are not there, and I'm watching. Oh, there, I believe you, Adil, but you can do better. So that's the end of the story for me as far as the relationship with the film is concerned. And then suddenly I hear Tushar as we spoken tag that, oh, it's gone to that Oscar qualifying festival. I'm like, that's great, wonderful. Yeah.
Right. That's good. Priyanka, what about you? Because up to now we can safely say that initially you thought, just one of the scripts. Then you said, oh, Adil is part of the film. Let me do it. Then you met the guy called Tushar Tyagi. And then you were like, oh my God, this guy is actually talented. To now, you know, after the first cut. So tell me, kya laga aapko? What did you think?
Honest, Rohan, just what Adil Das said now, it is actually very true for an actor to just disconnect, because such may that there have been disappointments where you really do something so great and you really put everything, and you really, you know, want this film to really work, or this role to really work for you, you know. Right. And then, you know, in my personal experience only, like I did Hasina Parkar, I am the main person there. I'm just opposite Shraddha, and I was like really, you know, rooting for it. It bombed. Nothing happened. The critics gave me so many good reviews and everything. It bombed. And like a small chotu 15-minute role in Sacred Games too. It so you never know. So since then, no, basically, to be very honest, I've also started disconnecting. Like, you do your job, you go to set, you meet your people, your directors, your co-actors, you do your job well. You feel happy at the end of the day कि ठीक है मैं आज सेट पे ये कर आई, अच्छा मैंने ऐसे किया और ये मैंने अच्छा किया, and then you come back home. उससे ज़्यादा you cannot think anything about the destiny of the film. I mean, I never actually thought that. But of course, I'm happy now because yeah, it has reached here, which is, But to be very honest, I totally agree and understand what Adilda said, because that is my process also. Like I just
And for me, I'll just like bars, and it's same because I've done like almost 12 short film and 1 feature film, and sometimes sometimes I did this feature in Atlanta, and couple of short films. Like you work so hard, and sometimes like so many producers, they shoot the film and then they don't even end up editing. Either they don't have funds or they don't have, they shelve the film for some time, and it's just, here you are so excited, you spend sleepless night, and I'm generally a very hyper person, and I go way hyper on set, and I just invest all my energy. And yes, even with Saving Chintu, like I sent it to film festival, and then I totally forgot it until I got the email. And then I'm someone who don't like to jinx thing, and first 2 emails like, okay, that's good, and then I started getting emails like, okay, it's leading to somewhere. So yeah, I when we were shooting, I was focused on the frame. I never thought it'll take us all to some kind of journey. Yeah.
Edward, anything that you'd like to add, even after hearing the news? Oh, it's going to Oscars, and I like the fact that you said it's 2020. What can you expect? But this was one good news, like
I
really
know.
good news.
Like I said, this is what got me through the year so far, and it's probably gonna help me with what's left of it too. The way things are going.
Wow.
And I didn't really, I didn't think about the future of the film so much. Like I said, I was just so excited to get the chance to not kill anyone in a movie, and I was really really bowled over by Tushar. He's just such an cutlet that I just couldn't resist, getting enthusiastic myself, and he's just so nonstop. I remember he came over to meet me at my house, and he sat with me and my wife, and we just all got so excited about it. When he left, my wife and I were just like, whoa, what happened there? That was, he's a whirlwind. He's a force of nature. He's all of that. And I was just so happy to be a part of it. And I knew that, this man is going to, do whatever, needs to be done to see this film to wherever it needs to go, wherever that is. I don't know. Let's just do it. And now look,
So first is Adil and Priyanka, the dinner scene. And so there are 2 things. One, every time I have seen, because various cuts, Tushar has kind of sent it to me and I've seen it. Every time I've seen that scene, I have felt hungry. I do not know आप लोगों ने कितना खाना खाया, how much did you guys eat? Second, and this I know for sure, when you guys were performing this scene, it kind of just kept rolling over and you guys kept improvising. I mean, please tell us, हो क्या रहा था? What was happening while you guys were doing that, sequence especially?
So actually, मेरे लिए तो नहीं ना बिल्कुल रोहन, I disagree. मेरे को बिल्कुल भूख नहीं लग रही थी उस scene में. मुझे बिल्कुल वो खाना देख के बिल्कुल भूख नहीं लग रही थी, because I was very nervous. For the first time in my life, I was performing with Adilda. So मेरे लिए तो ये था कि my scene should work. I am not hungry at all. I will eat whatever I want to eat post this. So, but actually what happened was, to be honest, I was nervous. Yeah. But the scene went touchwood very well. As in, I don't know what happened. There was a lot of ease in the scene. I think Adilda was very, it was a lot of scene, like a lot of ease, I mean, तो कुछ ऐसा नहीं था कि तो हुआ क्या कि we got a little time before they were setting ना नीचे. मैं Adilda से ऐसे ऊपर हम लोग waiting area में wait कर रहे थे. Adilda, you remember it was somebody's house?
Yeah.
and I think Adilda froze. It was somebody's house, and me and Adilda were in the room upper, and we were chatting, and there were other people. There were lots of rush and all. So
Right.
we got chatting, and then me and Adilda were talking, and because I'm
Yeah,
also from
yeah.
theatre and also Sir, so we were talking about theatre a little bit. Sir was telling me about his color practices and things like that.
Right.
So तो थोड़ा ना ease हो गया था काफी ज़्यादा.
Huh.
So then when we met on the table and then we said, let's start the scene. So I think we both were into it. I mean, I think that. I don't know what Adilda's experience is. I felt there was a lot of ease and comfort performing with Sir.
No, I think what got me in is you, Priyanka, because when I first met Priyanka, I saw, I just, it's normal for me, and it is a habit that I had to really build over the years, that you look at somebody's eyes and how much defense mechanism is working, you know, and I saw the vulnerable self of hers, and then she allows, at least I don't know about others, but she allowed me to peep into her, and that connection is the most important connection between two actors. Even if you are playing antagonists or opposite each other and who hates each other, but I should be able to see, or I must allow the other person to see and peep into through the window. These are just lenses, and to let the person in, to be able to breathe the person in. So, and I felt extreme comfort, and because of her, that I felt comfortable, and that comfort most probably, as Priyanka has said, that had let her open up, which is a two-way process all the time. One person cannot do anything.
Correct,
You
correct.
cannot just act well unless the other person is completely giving, and which I just recently experienced. I want to mention this because I think this is so important, that I just acted in Star Trek, the first episode, and the lead actor, Sonequa Martin Green, when I saw the episode, which just dropped in Netflix on the 15th of October, and everybody's complimenting me. Like, I got thousands of tweets from America that, oh, you made us cry. I hope that your character is not killed. There will be a riot and all kinds of like, all. But I reminded them that it is the scene, the way it is written, and also the co-actors, Suneka, was so generous. So here, Priyanka was extremely generous and open, and that built up. One thing I remember, that when we were improvising the scene that day, suddenly I think our heads came together. No, Priyanka?
Yes, yes.
Yes, and I just felt it, and I felt that there is no inhibition from the other side, and she felt the same.
Wow. I mean, such an effortless scene, but now when I
Also,
listen to the
I want
voice.
to add
Yeah,
one
yeah, go ahead, go ahead,
small
go ahead.
thing.
Yeah.
So one thing that I remember, that right before this scene, I went to Adilda and I told him, because we were shooting, and we were shooting since morning, and I had this small break, and we had to start shooting from the evening, and I am sitting eating my food, and I just stopped eating just because I realized that the ending doesn't work for me, because all this time I was like, okay, I'll go to the ending. I wrote the ending. I never liked it, but then it hits me that I've been busy producing and I have to change ending. It's not working for me. So I spent 10 minutes. I rewrote the entire ending. I went to I was like nervous to go to Adilda and Priyanka. I was like, I don't know, they'll think what unprofessional director he is. He comes on set and says that, okay, we are changing the entire ending. And I went to first Adilda, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. Read the ending. And I did it. He liked it. He was like, let's do it. I went to Priyanka. Like, they both were on board right away. And that gave me that, kind of creative liberation. And also, when we were shooting the scene, and this rarely happens. Like, I love Adilda, I love Priyanka, and it's just, it really happens with me. Rather, it never happened with me, that I'm very quick when I know I have to say cut, because I know some of the actors keep rolling and rolling and rolling, and it eventually leads, time wastage. But at this time, we took 3 takes, I think 3 or 4 takes, And I just couldn't say cut, because every time, like I remember there were in the film that you'll see, Priyanka's had made up the name of the kids as well. It was not in the script.
Right.
She added about Payal, and this thing is just, it's a free flowing energy which is coming, positive energy which is coming out in performances. And I just couldn't say cut. I remember Adil did, in one of the takes, he just must and looked. I was like, "This is my cue. Let's say cut." so, so yeah,
I'm
it
like,
was.
cut kare.
Yeah.
Lovely. So, at the start, we started with the fact that, 3 Oscar qualifying film festivals is already gone to, and it's been playing at numerous film festivals, at least since July, I know. अगर उसके पहले हो तो I have no idea, but at least since July. So, tell me, I have seen Tushar share a lot of compliments that he has received for the film. So, this question is not for him, but, for the 4 of you, what have been the most interesting compliments, feedback, things that people have probably, message said to you guys?
I think everyone will tell you the same thing for this film. I think no one has not got many compliments for this film. And again, I'm saying it is because of the way the characters are written. And yes, we try and do, like me as an actor, I've tried to do my 100%, given my best. I think also for the fact that I've never played a role like this before, that has also been a big surprise for a lot of people. But at the end, I think it's because of the character graph and the way the characters have been written and presented that we are all also getting the compliments. And yes, there have been numerous. So yeah, that's why I keep saying this is my Saving Chintu's been quite the happy place, in so many ways. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Tushar, again.
It's everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the one consistent line he's been saying throughout this interview.
Yeah, because actors, like I think, like I'm telling you this thing, and after this, Rohan, let's quickly wrap up. Like
Yeah.
I remember when I told my parents that I want to go in films. This is something I always wanted to do. And my parents were like, yeah, it's fine. And my relatives were like, you should go in acting. And there are so many preconceived notions, and people try to put you through. And I was like, I know I can never act, I'm not good at acting, but I'm good at direction. I can form something. But I love actors in a way that they come on set, they act like a vessel, like they somehow their personality either takes a very small portion of their existence, or it somehow evaporates for the meanwhile, and they take the personality of a character and they respond to it. And I've seen these people, like when I write a script, most of the time director or writer is mostly writer is afraid that who will be replaced by these names. And I mean, it gives me goosebumps when there is something that you have written on paper and somebody's living it on screen, and I've seen them living it on screen, and it's just a blessing. So I'll just let you finish, and then we'll wrap up.
So very quickly, Edward, Priyanka, Dilda, any interesting feedbacks, compliments, anything that people
I haven't been able to read at all. I had been so occupied with my shoot, right from the time that it had been traveling. I haven't read the comments. I saw I cursory read, like I would quickly, okay, this has gone there. So I would just like and let it go, and just like and let it go.
right. Okay.
Only what Tushar has written. I have not read comments.
Okay. Priyanka, what about you?
I haven't gotten any compliment.
Ah,
I don't know. Really, honest, I don't know. I haven't gotten any compliment from anybody.
that's
I
so
don't know.
hard to believe, I mean.
No, but honestly, I mean, I don't know who has seen the film, who has not seen the film.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
not out yet? It's not in the public domain. So what is happening? I haven't shared it with my friends or people, anybody. So I really don't know. Nobody has complimented me, honest. So I don't know.
Okay, first compliment hum dete hain. Priyanka ji, amazing job. Every time I see that in the scene, I get hungry. And Edward, what about you, brother? Any interesting compliment? Any interesting thing someone's come up to you?
No, I was waiting for you to compliment me.
For you, yeah, you're playing the normal guy,
Thank
like
you.
you said. But
Thank
no,
you.
it's
No, I think people really like the ending.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything more about it. Yeah, it's just a really nicely written, piece, and there's just yeah. I mean, the compliments are it's just overwhelmingly positive, the response. But I'm just trying to think of that one thing, and I would say yeah, the ending's really cool, and I think people really notice that.
it's kind of a thriller also, don't you think? Till the last frame, you don't really know what's going to happen, what's going to happen. And then suddenly you're like, oh, and that's all I can say because then it'll become a spoiler and I don't want to give it out. But thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to all of you. Thank you for making
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Rohan.
Virtual Roundtable a great success. And I wish you guys, many, many Oscars to come. And hopefully we'll do such interviews, but
So, I'll quickly last thing. So I went to Oscars in 2015 with one of my friends, and when we were watching Oscars, he gave me this Oscar, like right here.
Woo!
And I keep like literally on my work table. I've been carrying it around since like it's been since 2015. So I hope it'll get somewhere. Okay, thank you, Rohan. I
so
will
with
then,
that,
yes,
yeah,
go
with
ahead, go
that,
ahead.
good luck, Cham. Thank you very much.